Hey there, the internet. Japal Mickey P here, and today we are going to be kind of looking at a bunch of stuff, but I sort of got the theme of everything is going to be a physical box of a game I got from Kickstarter. So yeah, I kind of thought I'd sort of look at whether they're nice or crap, and yeah, that sort of thing. So to start off, I'll just quickly look at these two. Main reason I'm rushing through these is because I have looked at them before on previous videos. So Broken Ages, Tim Schafer, Double Fine, point and click adventure game. Very very much box style of the old LucasArts games. I think they even said they pulled apart an old Day of the Tentacle box to make sure they built it the same way. It's cool. It has discs and art prints in it. One thing it's missing is a proper manual, but I'm the only sort of weird person who cares about that. And Wasteland 2, I pretty much looked at this in the video I did about the Indie Box Wasteland 2 video. It's a nice box. It's got manual and game discs and map. See, it's all there. Kind of cool, and yeah. So, other thing though, both those boxes have in common is they're kind of, I mean, like a lot of Kickstarter games, they're throwbacks to an old genre, and they both kind of mimic the traditional sort of box style of those old games. So, like Broken Ages, matching the LucasArts boxes super close, and Wasteland 2, it's like ring binder manual and cloth map and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a few other kind of throwback games that have boxes that we'll be looking at. Not all of them are that nice though. So yeah, there's this game, Leisure Larry Reloaded, and extra doodads that came with outside the box. There was also a t-shirt, but that's somewhere in my cupboard. So yeah, this was kind of, it's a remake in like HD of the first Leisure Suit Larry game. And there's a few problems with it. One is that Leisure Suit Larry probably hasn't aged that well in terms of the style of humor. It's very like girls, boobs, sex. Yeah, I know it's in that sort of mature but also really immature space. So another problem with this game is that in the game itself, in the remake, it's really heavy on the Kickstarter backer award stuff, like all these people's faces, and they're like, "Hi, I'm Steve who backed the Kickstarter, blah blah blah, look at my face." And yeah, I mean, it's great if you're Steve who backed the Kickstarter, but no, it cheapens the game. And yeah, other problem with this game is that one of the people behind the Kickstarter had a bit of controversy when it turned out he was a sex offender. So what wasn't actually the original creator, is this guy who kind of started this Replay Games company and got Al Lowe involved to make this remake. Yeah, there's a big long article on Rock Paper Shotgun about it. That yeah, he was a sex offender, and Al Lowe kind of ended up having to cut ties with him after the game came out. Yeah. Other problem with this guy is apparently he was just kind of an asshole anyway. But yeah, so this is the box. We look at some of the things that came outside the box. I mean, t-shirts elsewhere, but yeah. Leisure Suit Larry style humor came with a prophylactic. Yeah, that's what you want to have as a collector's item in the game, a condom. Lovely. Also, there's this art book, which is full colour printed, but I know paperback art books are weird, and it's not that long, but look, it's got ladies. That was almost a nipple, and I hope I don't get in trouble from YouTube. Yeah, game itself is, this is a cheap box, like, that's what the insides are. It's just this thing to hold the sleeves in, and game on DVD, soundtrack on CD. Not much to the box other than that. Yeah. So this is probably one of the most disappointing. Actually, I don't want to say that because there's always more room for disappointment, especially with Kickstarter. Yeah, it just wasn't. I mean, it's cheap, tacky. I mean, the game itself is cheap and tacky because it's half-assed remake of a dated game with a lot of, yeah, it's crap. But hey, this is fine, right? Anyway, let's go to another Kickstarter from a former Sierra developer. So this is Mobius by Jane Jensen, who is probably best known as the designer of the Gabriel Knight games. Now she kind of did this big sort of, I'm starting my own studio and gonna kickstart games, and unfortunately this game wasn't that great, even though she'd done some good work after Gabriel Knight with other companies, like I think Grey Matter was quite well received, but this has, I don't know, playing it I was just like, help, the face animations are super Uncanny Valley. I guess that hasn't stopped Mass Effect Andromeda, but yeah, not, kind of a disappointing game. But let's look in the box anyway. Not a super fancy box to be honest, but it's got the game in a weirdly unlabeled DVD case, and hey, at least it has a manual, because manuals are great, and yay, documentation. That's cool. A few other things that came with this Kickstarter, because it ended up being for, phone goes ding, it ended up being for 2 games, and the other one was a remake of Gabriel Knight, which we got, but not on a big box, just in a DVD case. And it's just the game inside it. And yeah, this game I think was, the original Gabriel Knight's brilliant. The remake, I kind of feel like there must be some sort of story behind its creation, because originally it was like, oh, it's going to be distributed by a big serious game company. It's a sequel, we can't do what it is, and ends up being, I think, like, licensed from Activision, but I don't think they were involved in the distribution, so I kind of feel like maybe they'd seen it in development and possibly rejected it because it was kind of crappy quality. But yeah, one of the problems with this remake is for technical reasons of Sierra never kept any proper archives of their games, they couldn't use the original voice recordings, which meant they don't have Tim Curry and Mark Hamill and Michael Dorn. They've got people doing impressions of them, and it's not brilliant. And yeah, I think they made some changes to some of the puzzles, which I think were required by Activision, who ended up not even publishing it. So, like, I think they added awkward, stupid mini games because Activision was like, you gotta have those in games. And then it turned out bad, and they didn't want to publish it, and somehow Pinkerton Road or Phoenix Online or whoever it is got to release it anyway. But yeah, also they have a best of soundtrack CD with a bit of music from both these games. Anyway, I've been a bit on the disappointing side of Kickstarter, so let's look at something that's actually nice. Pillars of Eternity. This is Obsidian's throwback, big, traditional RPG, and the game's alright, but the box is freaking awesome. It's huge. Look at this, weighs half a ton. Nice slipcase, and book opens up. And yeah, bunch of stuff in here. Patch, manual, gotta love manuals. Cloth map. Note paper for some reason, don't know why, but maybe so you can take notes while playing the game. Game discs themselves. Postcard, and a mouse pad, which I used as my mouse pad for a while. Started getting a bit tattered, so I decided I want to keep it safe. Yeah, the only weird thing about this box is you'll notice most of it's just this kind of bit of cardboard just like padding out the insides. And I guess that's because they wanted to have a huge box, but they didn't actually have that much to fill it. Yeah, it's cool. I do need to put more time into this game. I know they recently crowdfunded a sequel on Fig rather than Kickstarter, and I backed it kind of just to get the matching box. Other thing nice about this box, it has system requirements on the bottom, which won't focus. Yeah. Never mind, I'm the only person excited by system requirements. Yay, big box. Let's look at another nice thing to come from Kickstarter. Clannad, or however it's pronounced. Yeah. Visual novel about girls with huge eyes being sad. This is a really nice box. It's numbered and it's got artwork everywhere. It's got system requirements on the bottom. It's got a... So this, I think they were kind of trying to go over the contents of the original Japanese limited edition release, which is really cool. So it's got official guidebook with artwork and interviews. It's got game disc itself, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting. They use a sort of super jewel box type case, and the arranged soundtrack CD, which seems to be like identical to the CD that came with the Japanese version, only with English track listings. I mean, look at the, like, even the bits of cardboard are printed with a nice pattern to make it look all pretty, and everything fits perfectly, and this is a really classy box. Which of course means it's not quite accurate to the traditional PC game box, but this isn't actually a 90s game, so it doesn't matter. Other thing they did was a separate box, which won't focus because it's too shiny, for the, it's kind of some side stories that were a drama CD and later a PSP game. And it's another super jewel box, and this is, I don't know, even though it's less fancy, it's still kind of nice and cool. Games. Anyway, there's a few others that I can have a look at. This is some sort of visual novel. I think Sakai Project did the Kickstarter and English translation. I have no idea what it's about, but I apparently backed the Kickstarter and got the game. It's got animes on it, it's got a disc, and hey, it has a manual. We all like manuals. And this can have a manual, but for some reason they can't manage to have a manual for Leisure Suit Larry, which actually comes from the era of manuals, but yeah. Then that Leisure Suit Larry box was super cheap, and the game was awkward. Yeah. This is... I should say the full title of this game, because it's hilarious. Root Double Before Crime After Days Extended Edition. I think those are just random words being stuck together. Other thing we've got here is, this is the other Double Fine Kickstarter game, Massive Chalice. It was kind of a, I think it was supposed to be like a throwback, not so much a throwback, but it was a kind of Fire Emblem-esque strategy RPG. It had the ability to make your characters fall in love and have babies. I don't know. Never played it that much because it's not my genre, but got like almost every other Double Fine game. So kind of cool, sort of nice sleeve case. It's not a big box, but still nice. It's got a embossed number on the back. Apparently this is number 630. I have no idea how many they made. And then this slides out, and there's proper back of the box stuff, and just a disc inside. So yeah, this is, it's a nice box. It's feels reasonably classy. And other box I have is kind of weird. So this is the box for Amplitude, the Kickstarted Harmonix game. That is a bit weird because one, it was not for PS2 because it was on PS3 and 4. I mean, the original Amplitude was on PS2, but this is like the remake sequel version. But for some reason, they did a sort of, one of the rewards was, get a retro style PS2 box for it. So that's what this is. It's just like a PS2 box. It's got screenshots on the back. And inside there is absolutely nothing, which is boring. Yeah. But anyway, Kickstarter boxes, they have a lot of... I reckon there's kind of a variation depending on the we want to make a good quality product versus we are obliged to get this out because we promised it, so we'll just throw it together cheaply. So like, I think the Broken Age box, they really did put the effort in to have a nice release. And that's actually one of the reasons it took so long. And, I mean, the Leisure Suit Larry just feels like, oh shit, we're obliged to do this. We will do exactly what we've promised and nothing more. And then, like, yeah. Because I guess it's kind of, if you've already pre-sold everything, do you still have to produce a good quality product? If you want your company to be an ongoing venture, probably. But if you're some fly-by-night person who's then going to go off and do time for sex crimes, probably not. Yeah, this is a sort of video where I probably ruffle people's feathers if they ever watch it, which they probably won't. Anyway, got a few other boxes on the way. I'm still waiting on the box for Quest for Infamy, which I don't know what the guy who made that game's up to, but did send him an updated address. At some point I'm supposed to be getting a box for Muv-Luv, and that's supposed to be quite good because I think they're probably putting the effort in. Thimbleweed Park's gonna have a boxed release. I hope that's cool. I'm kind of half wondering if it'll end up matching my Broken Age box because they're both trying to do the whole LucasArts game box thing. Yeah. I'm rambling, and I spend too much money on Kickstarters, but boxes are fun. I'm Mickey P. Thanks for watching.